Good. All right, waiting room is clear. All right. So what I want to do, if you're online, please, if you would, turn your cameras on so that we can see your pretty faces, and let's get this thing started. So what I want to do is go around the room and have you introduce yourself, your name, where are you located, are you a franchise owner, design associate, what is your role in the company? And then just very briefly, because we've got a big class, so we can't take a lot of time to do this, but just very briefly, a fun fact about yourself. Just something to sort of break the ice with everyone. So let's see, Isaac, you happen to be up in the far left-hand corner of my screen, so I'm going to start with you.
Yeah, so Isaac Phillips, currently in Michigan, soon to be in Florida in the Panhandle area where we're opening up at. Fun fact about me, let me think. I proposed after skydiving. I didn't push her out of the plane though, I swear.
Did she skydive as well?
She did. She was the last one out. I was the first one out, and there were two other people in between. So I was on the ground by the time she landed and had the ring ready.
Nice. Nice. Good story. Wendy.
So I'm a franchise owner over in Southwest Seattle. Fun fact about myself, I come from a military family. So all my siblings, there was 3 of us, were born overseas. So I was born in Japan.
Nice. Nice. Let's see, Robbie Robertson.
Design associate from Orlando. Fun fact about me, I'm an Army brat myself. And have dual citizenship because I was born in France to a French mother before she became a U.S. citizen.
All right. 2 passports, baby. I love it. Let's see, Carrie. Get Carrie to take herself off mute.
Sorry about that.
There we go.
Yeah. My name is Carrie Wright. I'm a design associate in St. Petersburg, Florida. I guess a fun fact would be we really enjoy boating here in Florida.
Nice. So do you have a boat, or you
Yes,
just find other people's boats to get on?
Yeah, we have our own and like to meet up with other people.
Nice. Dylan.
Hello, my name is Dylan Wooten. I'm out of Frisco, Texas. I'm a design associate. That's pretty much the Dallas-Fort Worth area. If you're not familiar with Frisco, with Tammy Prawl. I don't know what to really say in terms of interesting or unique facts. I went to school for neuroscience, so I'm pretty, I guess, strange to be in sales, but I'm excited to be here. I like the company opportunity. Tammy's been amazing so far, and I'm excited to get it going.
Nice. I like that. So when we start talking about all the psychology of the brain waves and what the sales system does to it, you can call me out on it.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. It's been a while though. I'll try.
All right, let's see. John Suarez.
All right. Hello. My name is John Suarez. I'm out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Fun fact about myself. I know I don't look like it, but I am Spanish. I was born in Colombia. I do speak Spanish fluently. So, yeah.
Nice. And there's no accent to give it away.
Yeah, no, I was raised here in the United States, so I didn't get any accent, but I learned how to speak just by listening and having conversation with my parents.
I've worked with a guy, he was from Spain, and he had a very, very strong Spanish accent. His wife was Dutch, so she was from Holland. She had a very strong Dutch accent. They had a daughter, I worked with them in South Carolina. They had a daughter, and the daughter was, when I knew her, she was 10 or 12 years old. When she spoke Spanish, she sounded like she was from Spain. When she spoke Dutch, she sounded like she was from Holland. And when she spoke English, she sounded like she was a redneck from South Carolina.
That's funny.
It's crazy. All right, let's see. Zuri and Stephanie.
Hi, We are Stephanie and Suri. Fun fact, we love to travel.
Yep, including, move to another country to open a
Exactly.
business and all that good stuff.
I'm trying to lease a
I love
house that
it.
is practically possible here, but yeah.
Nice. Let's see, Patrick.
Yeah, Patrick Daniel out of Pensacola, Florida, franchise owner with Isaac Phillips. And a fun fact about me, I'll kind of keep on the same vein. I'm prior Navy, and I lived in Spain for 3 years while I was in the Navy.
Nice, nice. Royce.
Royce Ampson, I'm a design associate in Frisco, Texas. Fun fact, I participate in no prep drag racing, and I recently participated in an episode of Street Outlaws, which will be airing in a few months.
I love it. Love it. Let's see, Chris.
Hey guys, I'm Chris Walagora. I'm a new franchise owner in West Pasco County, Florida, just north of Tampa Bay. Fun fact about me, I'm love to go bowling and play golf.
Oh no, we've got a bowler, Savannah.
I
Remember
called it.
that when he comes to TSA, he's on my team.
We'll all be on the same team, Chris.
That's
My
right.
wife was making fun of me yesterday because I read that we were going bowling. I'm like, oh, I gotta bring my bowling balls. She's like, you are not bringing your
That's
bowling
right.
balls.
Whatever
Let's
good
see,
you do that you need to help me win.
That's right.
Is what we want.
Let's see, Jason Andler.
Jason Andler, Canton, Ohio. I'm going to be opening up a new location here. And I probably need a new fun fact. I think a couple of you have heard this before, but I met my wife on a cruise.
Nice. Nice. Let's see, how about Taylor?
Hi guys, Taylor Delgatti. I am a design associate in Raleigh, North Carolina. And my fun fact is that outside of this line of work, I am a Reiki practitioner.
A what practitioner?
Reiki, energy work.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice. So here's my connection with Taylor. My wife and I both graduated from North Carolina State University. Go Wolfpack.
Oh, very cool.
There we go. All right, let's see, Renee.
Hi everyone, my name is Renee Sloan and I'm in San Antonio office. Fun fact about me, I got engaged and married on the same day to my military spouse.
Oh, look at that. And maybe he didn't push you out of a plane to do it.
No.
Nice. All right, Sandra.
Good morning, everyone. I am a design associate working out of Sacramento, California for Jose and Jennifer Elias. Fun fact about me is I'm very active, very outdoorsy. My boyfriend and I have a boat in South Toledo, California. I'm not sure if you guys know where that is. It's across the Golden Gate Bridge from San Francisco, and it's absolutely beautiful. I'm fluent in Cambodian and I speak Spanish as well. I'm saying
Nice.
just feeling lucky to be in California. Like, weather is amazing.
I love it. I love it. Let's see, Josefina.
Hi, everybody. My name is Josefina. I'm from Argentina, moving with my family to Orlando. We are franchise owners. I've been here for 2 months by myself, so I start talking and arguing with my GPS. I always get lost everywhere, and so now I used to talk with the GPS.
Nice. Nice. All right, Christine.
Christine White, I'm a design associate for Risa Kirstein here in Great Falls, Virginia. That's Northern Virginia, right outside of DC. And you guys are like the most interesting people in the world. And I'm sitting here going, gosh, I'm totally boring. But I guess I would say I'm an exercise enthusiast. So I work out with a trainer and I weight train 3 days a week and then add rowing and hiking and yoga and Pilates and some other stuff in there. So that's my distressor.
Nice, nice. Denise.
Hi there, Denise Talley, Chattanooga, Tennessee. Fun fact, one of the great things about living in this part of the state is all of the water. So I have recently developed a paddleboard obsession and love to get out and do that in kayak.
Nice. All right. Let's see. How about Jose?
Hello, everyone. Jose Rangel here. I'm a design associate over in Chicago under Mike Gagliano. And I'm very excited. Definitely, the career, and so far so good. And we're gonna make the best out of it, most definitely. Fun fact, people call me the grill father. I love to grill. That's like a sport to me. All kinds of meat cuts, chicken, I mean, all kinds of new recipes that I come up with. And funny thing is, I don't know if you guys ever been to Chicago, but I mean, weather is not the greatest. But definitely one of the reasons why I love Chicago, because me and the heat will not get along. I enjoy the fact that we only have a couple of months of the heat, get it out of the way. And even though it gets cold as hell down here, grilling out there in my backyard, and it's amazing how many recipes I have, and my neighbors love me, my friends, neighbors, everyone, because
Nice.
I do a pretty good job.
Nice, nice. I love it. All right, let's see. Let's go to Asheville. Brad. Although Brad's probably not sitting in Asheville right now.
Hey, it's Brad from Bentonville, Arkansas currently. Moving to Asheville as a franchise owner. Let's see, fun fact, I've jumped out of a plane 38 times and only one of them was during the day.
Interesting. Okay. So I'm assuming there's some military background in there too.
That is correct.
Nice, nice. All right, let's see. John Thompson.
Yeah, it's John Thompson. I'm a franchise owner in Tyler, Texas. Fun fact about me is I have a farm with probably about 20 head of Longhorn on it right now.
Oh, I love it. I love it. All right, how about Owen? Where's Owen? He was there. There he is. Owen's searching for that mute button. Owen, can you hear me?
Sorry, guys.
There he is.
Yeah,
Got it.
I went to hit the mute button and I minimized it, and then I had to search to get it back. Owen Sullivan here, new franchise owner. I'm at a Falls Church, Virginia. So Christine, I think we'll be neighbors because my territory is North Arlington, Tyson's Corner, into Vienna, Falls Church, etc. So it's nice to see somebody so close on the call. Fun fact about me, I have 3 boys, but the oldest is 23 and the youngest is 7. So,
all right.
Yeah, I'll be raising, I like to tell people I'll be raising kids for the time, for about 40 years of my life.
Right, right.
It's at least until they're
Good
18.
stuff. That's right. All right, let's see. Drew.
Everyone, my name's Drew. I'm working out of the Triad here in North Carolina. Randy and Marty Hattenberg are the owners. A couple fun facts about me is I have 8 siblings and I love to snowboard.
Oh, I love it. You can push all them down the mountain. All right, let's see. So I think I've caught everybody except Linda. Linda, would you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm Linda Leach out of El Paso, Texas. I'm a franchise owner. And my fun fact is, I got to copy Renee. I became reacquainted with a high school classmate at our 10-year reunion, and we got married a week later. And we've been married 30 plus years. I have to do the math, but that's my fun fact.
I had no idea. I love it. All new stuff. Good. All right. Did I miss anybody? I don't think so, but if I did, that's not on purpose. I don't see anybody waving at the camera hard like, oh, pick me, pick me. All right. Good. So let's get started. The very first thing that I want to do is review the homework from last week. So let me pull up the scorecard from last week. Now, please forgive me here. I was in the office until late last night. I updated this last night before I went to the Airbnb, but I did not update it again this morning. So if you got a bunch of stuff done this morning and you're like, wait a minute, I don't know why this isn't showing. Well, it's probably because I didn't update it this morning. But let's take a look at where we are. So I asked you guys last week, between last week and this week, to get week 1 and week 1 done. So let's just highlight those so it makes it easier to see. This week, between now and next Wednesday, I'm going to ask you to take care of week 2 stuff. Now, franchise owners, that also means this stuff down here. So don't lose sight of this. So the franchise owners that are on the call, remember that you've got that pesky little, it's only a 15-minute thing, but there's that pesky little security awareness training that's got to be done as well. So keep that in mind. So where are we? We should have all of these done at 100%. We should have all of these done at 100%. So I see that we're a little behind, particularly on the Salesforce stuff. Not huge to catch up on, but I would be remiss if I didn't tell you that the week 2 material is also very heavy. So if you fall too far behind, it's going to be really, really hard to catch up again. So be careful with that. Let's see, for the design associates, by the way, if I see a 97 and 93, I assume you're done. So I know that some of the videos can be a little bit funny, where you get to the very end of the video, and if you click out of it too fast, it doesn't mark it as complete. You get the little orange check instead of the green check. So I know that happens. I mean, you'll see, like, so here's Jonathan, 100% great. Renee, 100% great. But the 93s, you know what? I'm 97s, 93. I'm counting that all as done. So I'm not looking for the, oh, we're missing 7 points. I'm looking for the, we're at 14%. Don't let yourself get too far behind. The 12%, don't let yourself get too far behind. The zeros, we really need to get started because we're going to get really far behind really fast. The Salesforce ones tend to complete themselves a little bit better. So 100% there, 100%, that's great. Again, if you haven't started the Salesforce stuff, there is time to catch up, but I would not let this go too long before catching it up. And then on the ride-along, same thing. I put the ride-alongs in last night based on what was in the file, but I'm really, really happy. If we think about 25 ride-alongs over 5 weeks, 5 ride-alongs per week, we should essentially be somewhere between 5 and 10 ride-alongs right now. And I've got, 12, Leanne's got 12, I've got 6 for Drew, I've got 19 for Sandra, that's fantastic. Mauricio's got 21 in there, 12 for Robbie. You guys are doing a great job. 5 for John. Denise has 25, 14 with Christine. Carrie's got 9 over here. So keep up the good work. Remember, these ride-alongs are huge to help you learn, not just whatever sales process your franchise owner is using, but those are huge for you to be able to get a chance to see what's happening inside the home. Okay? Any questions on the scorecard before we move off of that?
Just one question for you at the chance of looking ignorant. Where is the Salesforce stuff posted at? Because I've been going through the curriculum and didn't see the Salesforce stuff in there for week 1. I probably missed it though.
That's okay. Good question. Let's go ahead and open Floor U real quick.
If you could show us the online escrow portal too. I didn't see that one.
Perfect. We'll take a look at where that is. All right, so everybody's well aware of this stuff. The Salesforce stuff is just right over here to the right. So you've got Salesforce. Here's the security awareness training. So we'll click on that and open that guy up. Here's the Salesforce learning plan. And if I open up the Salesforce learning plan, they don't have week numbers beside them. It's just by the title. So I've got the Salesforce basic navigation, calendar management, order flow. And the idea is, instead of sitting down and trying to go through all of it at once, just, chew it a little bit at a time. And then for the escrow and the PPA, those are down here. So if I scroll down to the marketing section, here's my PPA and escrow, the online escrow portal. What was the other one? There's one more. The accounting and QuickBooks Basics, and that's right here. So they're all right here on the home page, easy to find. If you know that that's where they are. Good. Any other questions on the scorecard here?
Yeah, I got a little confused in Salesforce. Should we be doing that on the laptop versus the tablet? Because the app on the tablet is like set up a lot different versus
yes,
the
it is.
laptop.
I would strongly suggest that you do your Salesforce training on the laptop.
Okay.
And then there is a module that talks specifically about, so if I go into the Salesforce learning plan, there is a module that specifically addresses the mobile version. So right down here, the very last thing. But I would go through all of this on the laptop and then pull up the mobile app, because the mobile app is different than the laptop version.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that clears up the confusion. Thank you.
Good. Okay, then we won't stay here for very long. Good.
Arlen, real quick on the Salesforce, I did the navigation this morning. Were we supposed to have all of those ones done for today?
No, just the navigation.
Okay, thank you.
Just the navigation one. Yep. So
I
if I
actually
go
have a
back one more
question
time-
too, Arlen. I noticed you got me at 93%, and I did complete everything. Is there a particular reason why I would say 93%? And also the ride-alongs, I did update that list. There should be like 7 or 8. I think.
Yeah. So one on the ride-alongs, I updated the spreadsheet last night. So if you updated it this morning, then that's why it's probably not there. Now, if you updated it before last night, then we need to look and see where we're updating. But this is as of last night. Then on the 93%, I know that there's some of the modules that when you get to the end of the video, if you don't let it play the last 2 seconds of the video, it doesn't count it as complete. It gives you like partial credit. So for me, if it says 93%, it's good enough and we move on, and I'm not worried about it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was having I'm sorry. I was having trouble with the videos too. So what I did was just showed them to my franchisee.
And by the way, I'm telling them the same thing. I'm telling them that if it's in the 90s, consider it complete and don't worry about it, right? Because honestly, I don't want this to be about, oh my gosh, now I've got to spend 2 or 3 hours trying to figure out how to get this orange check mark to move, right? That's not worthwhile. That's not time well spent. Time well spent is let's figure out how to learn. Let's learn the material. That's what's more important. The learning of the material is more important than the green check mark. Okay, good. Speaking of learning material. All right, so here we go. The next thing that I asked you guys to do was to memorize the order of the slides. I'm not looking for anybody to be able to do the company story today. All I'm looking for somebody to do is to be able to recite my job, FSD, rank, media map, giving reviews, BBB, insurance training, installation video, choice number 1, custom direct, quality solution, prices versus build it. That's it. I just want to know that you know them in the right order. So would anybody care to, the first person gets it easy because the first person, I'm going to leave it on the screen, and after that, I'm going to take it off. So who would like to be the first person to recite it, knowing that you're going to have it on the screen to look at? Let's go, Isaac.
I did actually practice this with my wife. I got pretty good through the first column. The second column took a little bit more to get down. But yeah, my job, FSB, rank, media, map, giving, reviews, Better Business Bureau, insurance, training, and installation. And then the second column was a little bit harder, but choice number one, custom product, direct to consumer, quality, good solution, fair pricing versus, and then build it out.
Good. All right. And don't forget the column in the middle.
Yeah, the
Installation video. So that's part of it too. Cool. All right. So let's make it just a little bit harder. The view button is hidden down there. All right, somebody else. Who
I'll
wants to
go.
give it a go?
I can do it.
Yep.
Okay. My job, FSB, rank, medium, map, giving, reviews, BBB, insurance, training, installation, video, choice, number one, custom, direct, quality, solution, pricing versus build it.
Close. That's really close. I think you actually got all the slides, but some of them might have been a little bit out of order. But that's really, really good.
Okay.
All right, cool. Let's see. Somebody else.
I could go.
All right, give it a shot.
My job, FSB, rank, media map, giving, review, BBB, training. No, sorry, insurance, training, installation video. Choice number one, custom, direct, quality, solution, pricing versus build it.
Yes, there it is.
Got it.
I love it. I love it. Good stuff. All right. Who wants to see if they can top it? I mean, the only way to top it is to do it faster.
I'll do it.
All right, Royce.
All right. It's my job, FSB, rank, media, map, giving, reviews, BBB, insurance, training, installation, video, choice number one, custom, direct, quality, solution, pricing versus build it.
We've got two. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, who's next? Now y'all are getting me excited.
I can go.
I'm ready to see who's. All right, Carrie.
Okay. My job, FSB, rank, media, map, giving, reviews, BBB, insurance, training, installation video, choice, number one, custom, direct, quality, solution, pricing versus build it.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. So again, the reason that I ask you guys is if you didn't memorize, okay, it's okay. I mean, it's not like you're going to get points counted off or something. This is when you're doing the company story with a customer, you really don't want to have to think about what the next slide is. You want to know what the next slide is. As a matter of fact, the most effective presenters are the presenters that are actually already start talking about the next slide before the next slide comes up. You know your material so well that it just flows. It just makes it natural, right? So for some people, having this memorized like this is a huge help because I know if I'm on the media slide, the map slide is next. If I'm on the map slide, the giving slide is next. If I'm on the giving slide, the review slide is next, okay? For other people, okay, and I know different people learn different ways, what helps is to memorize transitions between the slides, right? So for example, I give you a stupid one, but like on the giving slide, we talk about how we give back to our community. And on the review slide, we talk about how we've got a 4.7 out of 5-star rating. Okay, that's great. Well, I could remember a transition and I might remember this. I might say, you know, we're in the habit of giving back, blah, blah, blah. And our customers give back to us by giving us reviews. Okay, so that's like a little transition that helps me remember that I'm talking about giving, and the next thing I'm going to do, I'm talking about how our customers give to us in the form of reviews, right? So for some people, the memory jog is just having the slides memorized. For other people, the memory jog is knowing the transition that I'm going to use to get from one slide to the next. Okay, to be honest, it doesn't matter to me which way you memorize. That's up to you, right? You learn in the way that you learn. For next week, we'll get into this a little bit later, but for next week, what I want you to do is I want you to start pinning some of the content to each slide. Now, I'm going to say this now, and I'm going to say it later. So repetition is the key to learning, right? I do not want you to memorize the script. I do not want you to memorize the script. When you download the company story from 411, you have words that are there. It's a script that you can look at to help you learn the content of the slide. But I'm not expecting anyone to memorize that script and try to deliver that script to the customer. Okay, I want you to read the script as a way of learning what's important on the slide. That's for you. That's not for you to memorize to give to the customer. So for example, when we talk about reviews, yes, there's a script that talks about the reviews. Great. What do you think is important about reviews? Anybody? What do you think is important about reviews?
Credibility. The fact that they have such a high ranking, 4.7 or 4.8 out of 5.
Okay, high ranking, credibility. What else?
Shared experience.
Experience. I love it. What else? What's important about having reviews?
That we get things done the right way.
Yeah, good, that we get things done the right way. Okay, so now we can take what Isaac and Royce and Zuri, we can roll all that together, and we can now put together a script for a review slide, couldn't we? Hey, we've got great experience in the marketplace. We've got customers that give us fantastic reviews. We're at a 4.7 out of 5-star rating, and that just shows you the credibility and the experience that we have. Done. I don't even need to read a script. I know what I'm going to say now. Okay, so this is the point. I want you to just look at the script to understand what is important on this slide, but please don't try to memorize the script. Just understand what the basic content is for each slide. Does that make sense? Right, I told you last week was the worst because last week was all about memorization. I don't want you to memorize this now. Dylan, where's Dylan?
Yes, sorry. A little congested, but I was also going to say another thing we can push to get reviews. One thing that's really big on business and psychology of business is everyone that goes on Amazon. If you're looking for a product, you always look for 4.5 or above, but you always choose the product with 100 reviews as opposed to the person with 20. If they're all things equal, even review count, typically even a 4-star product with 1,000 reviews is rated higher than a 4.7 star with 20 reviews, because you just assume that reviews show you that customers have purchased before in great quantity.
Love it. I
was also going to ask
now,
if I could say one more thing is I was actually looking for the company story to start studying transitions and everything. And on Floor 11, I found the complete slide, and then I found one that was narrated, but I haven't found a transcript.
Yep. Right. So if I go out to 411, so we can find all this stuff. So while this is pulling up, so Dylan, you made a really good point, right? But as soon as you said that, all the brand new franchisees have sunk their head and said, yeah, but I don't have any reviews yet, right? Because, so Dylan, you work with Tammy, you got tons of reviews out there, and that's a big plus, okay? But I've got Brad, who's just moving to Asheville. He has no reviews out there. There's, the closest Floor Coverings International to him is, what, 2 hours away. How in the world can he leverage that? Well, the reality is, it doesn't have to be just Floor Coverings International of Asheville. It's Floor Coverings International as a company. And so you really do have thousands and thousands of reviews. It's not just your location. That's where you absolutely leverage the whole network. Okay, so Dylan, to answer your question, if I am in 411, dashboard, library, from library, I go into the franchise owner's manual, and I'm coming into the inspired sale training and certification. So it sounds like you found this much anyway. And up here, I see company story resources. So I'm going to open that guy up. And there's a Canadian version and a Canadian PowerPoint. And then here's the company story. This is the voiceover, but here's the PDF, company story, US final scripted PDF. So you should see this out here.
Okay, yeah, I don't know.
Right, and that's
yeah,
going to
I saw
download
the-
as a.
Sorry.
That's going to download as a PDF. Easy peasy.
Perfect. Okay, thank you.
Yep. Good. All right, let's move on from here. So what do I want to try to cover today? I want us to spend some time talking about the setup call, the warm up, and then we'll get into step 2 in the inspection and reference list. So first of all, what is a setup call, and what is the purpose? What am I trying to do in a setup call?
Schedule an appointment.
Confirm the appointment. Yep. What else?
Get a little bit
Warm
more
up the customer.
information
All right, let's see. I'll go to Christine first.
to find out a little bit more about the client and just get a broad overview of what they want to do.
Okay, good. I like that. Who else was talking?
I said warm up the customer, which is essentially the same thing, and getting to learn a little bit about them and what they are looking for as far as a project.
Okay, all right, Robbie, you were gonna pop in?
Yeah, you want to just break the ice a little bit and establish some points of rapport.
Okay, all right. So a customer calls in today. Maybe they come in through the website or they come in through some other source and they talk to our call center, and the call center books an appointment. Okay, so today is Wednesday, and they booked that appointment for Tuesday of next week. So we've got 6 days to wait. When do you want to do that setup call?
Right away.
John says right away. Explain that, John.
Well, I feel like if they're looking for any type of flooring solution, they're not just reaching out to one company, they're probably reaching out to multiple companies. And so giving them a call giving them a setup call right away would kind of put the focus on you. And if they like everything you've said, and if you build a positive rapport with them, and that kind of helps you moving forward, because then they may feel like, okay, this person really seems like he knows what he's talking about. Maybe I shouldn't look for so many other appointments or other companies to come by.
All right, so John, I agree with everything that you just said. Now I'm trying to boil it down to something, I'm just going to condense it. So what is your primary purpose for the setup call?
To establish a positive connection with the customer, build rapport.
Okay, so that's a means to an end. Okay. So I agree with that, but that's the means. What am I trying to accomplish with the setup call? I said it before.
Confirm the appointment.
No, not that. You said something else that was even much more brilliant.
Beat the competition?
Beat the competition how?
You want to get them to stop shopping.
There it is. That's the one. The number one goal of the setup call is to, if I've done the setup call right, okay, now I'm not going to tell the customer, don't call anybody else. But if I've done the setup call right, they should be able to hang up the phone and quit Googling other people, right? Because if I've booked an appointment, I've put my name out in the internet. By the way, if you're on the internet, you're either the customer or the product. You'll figure that out later. So all of a sudden I get a phone call from John, and John gives me this wonderful setup call, and I'm like, you know what? I feel pretty comfortable with this. As long as he doesn't screw it up, I'll probably buy from him. So I'm going to quit Googling other people. All right. by the way, if anybody ever decides they want to sell flooring to me, I am going to be the easiest but the hardest customer all at the same time, because there's certain little things that drive me nuts. But if I've actually invited you into my home to come give me a quote, it means I've already decided to buy from you unless you screw it up. And I'm not the only one that thinks that way. I know some of the franchise owners already know this because it's part of I think it's said in some of the Discovery Day stuff. Do you know on average, how many quotes people get before they make a buying decision?
At least 2 or 3.
What do y'all think? I heard 2 or 3. What do you, other thoughts?
Probably 1.5 on average, I would say.
Yeah. On average, it's 1.7 quotes on average. Now think about that. That means that yes, there is somebody that's going to want 3 or 4 quotes before they make a decision, 100%. But that also means that there's a bunch of people out there that are willing to make a decision based on 1 quote as long as you don't screw it up. Okay, so let's think about this setup call. What am I trying to do in the setup call? For sure, I want to confirm the details of the appointment. I want to find out something about the project. I want the customer to have a clear expectation of what we're going to do. There's all that stuff that I'm trying to do. But at the end of the day, what I want to do is I want to build some excitement. I want to absolutely build some excitement because I really, really, really want them to quit Googling other people. I want them just to feel like, hey, as long as Arlen can deliver and he doesn't screw it up, then I'm probably going to buy from him because I feel very comfortable with this person based on what we had on the phone call. Does that make sense to you guys?
Yes.
All right, cool. Cool. So how can we screw up the setup call? By the way, words really, really matter. Okay, as salespeople, we think, oh, I just have to be able to talk to people. No, you don't. You have to be able to listen to people. And you have to choose your words very, very carefully so that you don't screw stuff up, okay? So how can we really, really mess up a setup call?
Tell them you're a Wolfpack fan.
Well, maybe to you. Right? How can I... Well, but Brad, okay, but without joking, okay, one really good way, so we can joke about sports, it's okay. But one really good way to really screw it up is, hey, this is Arlen from Floor Coverings International, huge Trump fan, or this is Arlen from Floor Coverings International, I love Biden, whatever. I don't care whatever it is, right? But you start pulling that stuff in, right? Then of course you're shutting down people. Okay, so we can put that stuff off the table. Now, without getting into sex and religion and inappropriate stuff and whatever else, how else can I really screw up a setup call?
Not paying attention to what their needs and wants are.
Yeah, if I'm not listening to them, for sure. What else?
Give them an indication that the job is either too small for you or too difficult.
Yeah, so Owen's sort of hinting around the fact that the setup call is not a pre-screening call. Yeah. I'm not pre-screening the customer, right? I'm not asking questions to find out if this is, this job is too small to waste my time on, or, this isn't a screening call. This is a call to get them excited. Well, who's going to be excited if somebody says, yeah, your job's probably too small for me? That doesn't work. How else can I screw this thing up?
I mean, not being confident and positive is the best way to screw up that.
Yeah. Hey guys, here's a little secret for you. Yeah, when you're on the phone, even I know the customer can't see you. When you're on the phone, smile, because you can hear the difference in somebody's voice if they're smiling or not. All right, so Linda, I don't know these design associates really, really well, so I have to be a little careful, but I know Linda better. So Linda, can I use you as an example for a moment? I think Linda's off she's doing something else. All right, so I'm gonna have to, all right, I'm gonna pick on Wendy. Maybe I can get away with this with Wendy. We'll see. Okay, All right, so I'm going to call Wendy for a setup call. Okay, this is Arlen Brady from Floor Coverings International. Wendy, I see that I have an appointment with you at 2 o'clock on Friday. Does that time still work for you?
Yep, that works.
By the way, Wendy, are you going to be alone?
That's an interesting question.
Wait a minute now. Well, I was going to, but not anymore. Okay. All right. So a lot of times in the setup call, one of the things that we're trying to do is we really want people there that are going to be able to help with the project, right? But there's better ways to ask questions than that. I mean, that's like the worst thing I could do, or one of the worst things I can do. Okay. So don't be the creepy uncle, right? I definitely want to pick my words very, very carefully. Let's see if I can piss Wendy off. So right now I've sort of put myself in a creep zone. So let me get out of the creep zone, and now let me just piss her off. Okay. So Wendy, this is Arlen Brady from Floor Coverings International. I see that we've got an appointment scheduled for 2 o'clock on Tuesday. I just wanted to find out though, I mean, will your husband be there so that, you know, you can actually make a decision?
Actually,
that might be worse than the
2
first
o'clock
one.
no longer works.
Right. So that might be worse than the first one. I don't know. Right. So now what have I done? And I haven't creeped her out. Now I've just pissed her off. Right. Because I've implied that she doesn't have the ability to make a decision. Okay. So there's some key words around the setup call that I want to try to remove from your vocabulary. I don't want to say anything about a decision. Okay. Because I mean, I've met Courtney, that's great, but I'm not going to make an assumption that he needs to be there because she needs to make a decision or anything else. But in the back of my mind, I know that people are not going to make a decision about their flooring unless everybody that's involved in the project is there. And that may or may not be a spouse, by the way. Wendy might have a sister, a cousin, a neighbor, an interior designer that she's working with. And if that person's not there, she's not making the call. Okay. So somebody asked Wendy, hey, if you're going to be home, can you just go ahead and get a quote from these guys? Well, Wendy's not planning on making a decision. All she's planning on doing is getting a quote. But what do I want? I want everybody there so that we can make a decision. Okay, so this is how I'm going to try to work around this decision-making thing without saying anything about a decision. So Wendy, when I come to the home, I'm going to bring over 3,000 samples. We're going to have an opportunity to take a look at a lot of different styles, a lot of different colors, and I'm going to answer all of your questions. And speaking of questions, would there be anybody that you would want to have at the appointment that would want to have input into the color or the design or how we're going to install it, or maybe even how much it's going to cost?
Yeah, my husband would need to be there.
Okay. Would he be available at that time, or would there be a better time when both of you would be there?
He won't be available, but if we can do it after 2, then he would be.
Beautiful. All right. So now in that scenario, have I put myself in the creepy person spot?
Nope.
I hope not. Have I put myself in the now I've pissed her off because she can't make a decision spot? I hope not, because I didn't say anything about making a decision. I said something about having input into the project, and it's different, right? So I'm not putting pressure on her about making a decision. I'm simply asking, does anybody else need to be there to have input into this project? And I like to spell out, what does input mean? I personally like to spell out, you know, about colors or designs or shapes or styles or install, but I also like to throw in there the price or the cost, because, you know, it sort of gets them thinking about, yeah, okay, if we need to have a discussion about price, I want so-and-so there. But I'm not limiting it to a spouse. She may very well tell me there's an interior designer, a neighbor, a friend, you know, a coworker, somebody that I really respect their opinion on, and I want them there. Great. Does that make sense, guys? Okay, so I want to give you guys a little bit of an opportunity to practice this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break everybody out into breakout rooms. I'm going to send you guys into little rooms. If you've never done this on Zoom before, it's a really neat trick. I'm going to put about 3 people in each breakout room. And I just want you to do a little mock setup call with one another, right? So you're going to quote unquote call. I mean, it's over Zoom, do a quick little call. So I don't know who's I'm going to let the system do it randomly, but it might be that Owen's in a room with Drew because they're sitting side by side. And so one of you decides to be the design associate. One of you decides to be the customer. It doesn't matter what role you play in the company right now. One of you, just pick and choose who's going to do what, and then just do a quick setup call. Okay, just practice it. So here we go. Into the breakout rooms you go. I'm only going to give you about 5 minutes in the breakout room, but what I really want to hear when you come back, one, you've had an opportunity to practice. You've had an opportunity to get some feedback, right? How did this make me feel as a customer, that sort of thing. And when we come back into the big room together, I want to make sure that we have an opportunity to share some of the things that you guys heard from each other. Cool? All right, so let's see. I don't think there's any big restrictions here. Nope, good. So I'll give you guys about 5 minutes in the breakout room, and I'll pull you back. So Sandra, you should have an invitation to join one of the breakout rooms. There's Sandra's sign. Sandra is assigned there. Good.
Yeah, I've never
All
done the
right,
breakout.
so everybody,
before. That worked out well.
waiting on rooms, 4 or 5, 4 rooms still finishing up. Here we go. Here we go. All right, good stuff. So now what I'm really interested in hearing is, let's see, Drew, no, I don't see your video. I just have a black screen. So what I'm interested in hearing is, what did you hear? What did you hear that was really, really good? That it's like, that's a line I'm stealing. And what did you hear that, and maybe you tell them yourself, but what is it that came out of your mouth that, you know what, I wish I could put those words back. This is the easy place to share, because, you're not losing a customer over this.
Yeah, I'll start. I didn't feel buttoned up and personable enough, and that's just repetition. It's been a while since I've done sales like this. I was telling Isaac and Owen, I've been a director of sales dealing with counties for the past 8-9 years, so it's a little different. So I just need to kind of remind myself of what it was like to make those phone calls and doing those 80 dials a day like I did when I was younger.
There you go.
So I need to make it more personable, and I think that Owen and Isaac both did a good job at making it a little bit more personal than I did.
Nice. All right. Somebody else.
I'll go next. So you can ask John and Renee about this, but I'm a fairly sarcastic person most of the time. And I asked Renee about what reason her carpet wasn't, she wanted to get it replaced, and she said it was old and ugly. And I said, oh, that sounds like me. But it's probably a little too forward until I know the customer and their sense of humor, because it kind of threw me off when I actually said it, because I was like, oh God, I don't even know if Renee, if considers that funny, or if I just like came off really like, harsh on the first phone call. So I think being a little more tactful when you're trying to break the ice, because you want to, warm up and have a little, personality and make it different, but not being the first one in a long time. I don't know if that was a little too far. You can get their feedback on how they took it.
I thought it was hilarious. I'm not going to lie. And one thing I've learned being in sales for so long is that if you make someone laugh, you've got the business. I mean, they instantly love you. So you made me laugh when you said that. I thought it was great, and I thought it was a great warm-up call.
Thank you.
So I was
Is
in
it okay?
oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Taylor.
Okay, so I was in a group with Jason and Brad, and I took the lead first, doing the call, and I got some really great feedback from them during the moment where I was like asking who I will be meeting with, establishing who that would be, and whether or not the time still worked. Jason gave me a cool idea. His response to that was, it will actually just be him and his wife couldn't make the meeting. And, I went on to say, okay, well, sorry, we'll miss her, that type of thing. But later on in the feedback, he said, one thing you could try is maybe give the option to reschedule the meeting so that it encompasses her schedule as well, fits in with what she has to do. And I thought that was brilliant.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Hey, Arlen, I have a quick question. Sorry to interrupt. When that happens, what Taylor just brought up, because Owen gave me some objections. What if their spouse or whoever it is absolutely cannot be there, and they, they're going to be there Monday, but they've got people that they're getting quotes from that day? Is it better just to go in as soon as possible, even though the other decision maker won't be there, or is it better to reschedule and risk someone else coming in?
Right. Good question. And you're not going to like the answer, because it really does depend. Okay. I live in a very military town. And so one of the things that comes with military towns is I'm calling people and doing setup calls, and the spouse is in Afghanistan, or the spouse is in Germany, or the spouse is deployed somewhere. Well, that's, what am I going to do? Say, okay, well, I'll reschedule 6 months from now when they're home? That's not going to work, right? So there's some times when, no, it's my spouse is a brain surgeon and works 14 hours a day at the hospital. There's no way you're ever going to meet my significant other. We have to do this with just me. Okay, well, you know what? I'm going to go run the appointment. I'm not going to risk losing the sale because I want both people there. It is better if both people are there, but I'm not going to risk it. So if I ask the customer, is there somebody that you would like to have there to have input into the project? And they simply say, well, yeah, I'd like for this person to be there, but it's impossible to catch their schedule. Okay, no problem. I'll see you at 2:00 on Tuesday. But if it's convenient to go ahead and book it so that I've got both people there, or all three people, or whoever it is, then by all means, that's what I'm trying to do. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, I think so. Unless Owen.
Yeah, I mean, I give a pretty hard one, right? What I said was, it would be nice if my spouse was there, but she just asked me to get 3 quotes and cover it with her later. And then John followed up and said, well, is there time that she would be there? And I said, yes, she'll be around next Monday, but by then you might be a bit behind the 8 ball, because I got 2 other folks coming in on Friday.
Okay. So one thing that I might do in that situation again, spur of the moment while I'm there and I'm trying to read the situation, I might explain to Owen, Owen, one of the things that's different about the way that we do business is that we're going to bring all the samples to the home. I've got a mobile showroom. I've got over 3,500 samples in the van. And so when I come to your home, it is truly a full design consultation. I'm going to help you pick out exactly what you're looking for. And then when we put together a proposal, we go down to the penny for a proposal. I know a lot of my competitors will come out, they'll have 3 or 4 boards, and they'll give you a rough estimate of what the job is going to be. And we like to play fair with people and really give you a down to the penny proposal. So oftentimes it's better for you if I can have everybody there that's going to want to have input into the project. But if it's just not possible, I'm happy to still come out on Friday.
Yeah.
So I don't want to make it about me. I want to make it about, this is the way that I can best serve you. And if I can make it about the customer, then oftentimes, you know, Owen's going to say, wow, that's okay, cool. Yeah, let's do it on Monday.
Yeah.
Okay. But there's still a risk. The guy on Saturday comes and does a great job, and Owen's tired of talking to people. So he says, yeah, I'm going to go with you. And now I've lost out. So there is a risk when I do that. Keep that in mind.
So
Hey, Arlen, I was gonna
offered to come back, like to go Friday, and then if, you know, his wife wanted me to come back on Monday.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah.
no one said no, so.
Yeah, Chris.
Hey, I was just gonna say, in our example, when Drew told me that his spouse wasn't available to provide some input, before I asked him if he wanted to reschedule, he threw out the idea of getting her on a video call. And, you know, I
Yep.
thought that was a good idea. I said, yeah, if a video call works for the both of you, then we'll plan on doing that.
Absolutely. You absolutely do it on video call, right? So in person is better, but video call is better than nothing. 100%. Good. Good stuff, guys. All right, so let's move on. So when you get, let's go back to our map here. Takes just a second to get the screens back the way that I want them. Okay, so let's go back to our map here. And we've done our setup call. So somewhere before the setup call, somehow or another, the customer made an appointment with us. At the moment, I don't really care how that came in, but somehow or another, they made an appointment with us. Now we've had a great setup call. So what's going to happen between the setup call and the warm up? Well, I mean, one thing that they might do some other searching and whatever else. I want to drive to the appointment. Okay, so now we're on the day of the appointment and I'm driving to the appointment. And let's just say, what time do I want to get to the appointment? So if this is a 2 o'clock appointment, what time am I ringing the doorbell?
2 o'clock.
5 till.
Yeah. So somewhere between 5 till and then right on, right? So somewhere between 0 to 5 minutes before the appointment. What happens if you ring the doorbell 15 minutes before?
Piss them off.
They could be,
Yeah.
they could be not ready or in a meeting or,
Right.
you know, they've got a schedule we don't
too
know.
early. Right. It's too early, right? It's too early. What happens if I ring the doorbell at 2:02?
Then you piss them off possibly.
Possibly, right? Remember I said, I've already decided that I'm going to buy from you unless you screw it up. Well, for me personally, that's the first strike. Okay. So now the first strike is, now granted, look, stuff happens. You get caught in traffic, you call the customer and let them know I'm on my way. This is what's happening. Most of the time people will be forgiving, but if you just show up and ring the doorbell 5 minutes late, don't, you know, and now you're making excuses, you're behind the 8 ball. Okay. So good. All right. As I'm driving into the neighborhood, what are the things that I'm paying attention to? What does it look like to arrive to at this appointment?
You're scoping out your surroundings, what's near the home, and making mental
Okay.
notes. Yeah.
What am I going to do with that information, Carrie?
Once you arrive at the home, you know, you can mention, oh, that's a beautiful new park nearby. Do your kids like to go to the park? If I know they have kids.
Sure. Okay. So I'm, you know, that's like warm up fodder, right? That's stuff that I'm going to be able to talk about. Good. What else am I looking for?
NC state flag in the yard.
What's that, Dylan?
An NC state flag in the yard.
Maybe. That's good. Yep.
I mean, if
You're not gonna find one of those in my yard, but you know that's okay. You can look.
You want to make sure that you're careful where you're positioning the vehicle. You're not blocking anybody in the mailbox or anything else. You know, not making yourself into a problem.
Oh, I like that. Okay, so Isaac, where do I want to park this thing?
Preferably right in front of the house, not blocking the drive, not blocking the mailbox of the neighbor's drive.
Yeah. All right. So ideally, ideally, I want to park this van so that when the customer opens the front door, that's what they see. Right? I want the mobile showroom to be seen.
Yeah.
So I don't like parking in driveways. If the van happens to leak a drop of oil, now you're the one that put oil on the driveway. Okay. And frankly, maybe it wasn't you. Maybe it's not your van that dripped on the driveway, but it was the last guy that came that dripped on the driveway, but you're the one they saw. So now they're blaming that on you, right? Look, there's always exceptions. You're somewhere in, let's see, Tyler, Texas, there's going to be some pretty rural areas. You're going to have a driveway that's a half a mile long. Okay. I don't expect you to park on the street and walk up. So yeah, there's exceptions for sure. But for the most part, you're going into some suburb and, I want to park in some neighborhood. I want to park on the street so that I'm not in the driveway, so that I'm not blocking the driveway, so I'm not blocking the mailbox. I don't want to be a problem, but I do want the customer to be able to see that mobile showroom. What does your competition that shows up to the house, what do they drive?
Probably a personal vehicle.
Or a white
Unmarked-
van.
Most
unmarked vans
of
or
them
trucks.
are driving a personal vehicle. Right? Most of them are either driving a personal vehicle or maybe they're in a work truck or something. Okay. What is that personal vehicle or work truck? How is that going to look compared to the mobile showroom?
Professional, and plus.
Gonna put us at an advantage right away.
Immediately, right? Immediately. Somebody looks at the mobile showroom and they're like, oh, these guys are actually professionals at what they do versus some guy that pulls up in an old Toyota Corolla because, it gets decent gas mileage, but that's what I got. Okay. Good.
Hey,
Now
Alan,
I come into the home. Yes.
I was just gonna ask a question on this point where we park, right? So if you get some intel that the parking situation is unusual and you're not gonna be able to park directly in front of the house, but you're gonna want to access the samples, right? What do you like to do in that situation? Or maybe you have to park like I don't know, maybe a quarter mile away from the house for some reason, or the condo.
I would recommend put the address in. I always look up
Yeah.
the house
Oh yeah.
to see where the house is, get a street view, how long have they owned it, what's the current price of it. Not all that information is 100% accurate, but it gives you a good idea. And for you, Owen, being in the same area as me, we have a lot of pipe stems with half a mile long, quarter mile long driveways. So if you see that in advance, or you are in that pipe stem or you're in that cul-de-sac, you already know going in, you're prepared because you looked it up.
Great idea.
Yeah. And Christine, this is one of those places that you have to pick your words carefully, right? I love asking the customer, hey, by the way, is there anywhere in particular that you would like for me to park or, when I come in the mobile showroom? And that's it. I'm not going to go into any more detail, right? And I want to be careful here because if I said it a different way and said, hey, Christine, I was checking out your house on Google Earth and I saw, okay, no, we're done. We're out. Nope, we're out. So,
you don't tell people that you do it. You just do it.
Right? You just do it, right? So I checked out the tax maps and I saw all this stuff and wow, you paid a lot for that house. No, we're not doing that. Right? No, but I don't have a problem. Let's call the customer and just ask them straight up. Are there any special things about parking that I need to know? I think the ones that are probably the most difficult are when you go into these apartment buildings, where the customer owns the apartment, right? Not a rental apartment. Somebody owns the apartment, and you're having to park in a garage, and now you're taking an elevator to the 17th floor, and yeah, it's going to take some time to go up and down and get samples and all that stuff, right? So it's worth having a discussion with the customer about how they want you to park and where you can park. Good. All right. So let's think about the warm up. What am I trying to do in the warm up?
Melt the ice.
All right. So Royce, when you say melt the ice, what do you mean by that?
Build some rapport and get the customer to see you as a person, not a salesperson, and to kind of build bridge of trust between you and the client.
All right, I like that. What else am I trying to do?
Fun commonality between a connection between you and the client. For example, where I live in Chapel Hill, which is, pretty much part of Tyler, and their football team is going to the state semifinals. So it's huge here, and I'm in Texas, obviously,
Sure.
so it's football. So I'll take little information like that and try to kind of pull that out and see if they're see if that's the thing that they're interested in.
Okay, all right, good. What else am I doing in this warm-up?
I think you're also
talking
trying to
about
give them an
projects.
opportunity to display like your attention to detail and that you were prepared and you were ready to, to have that interaction with them.
Okay.
I like when I've been going
Yeah,
on
go
ride
ahead.
along with me, Carrie. Yeah.
Yeah, Carrie.
Well, I always mention, oh, you have a beautiful home, or I try and, notice what they have going on in their home and compliment them on their surroundings or the neighborhood. This is a very nice neighborhood. And
Okay, all right. What else? What else am I trying to do in this warm-up?
Let them know who we are as a company.
Not yet. I will let them know who we are as a company, but not in the warm-up. And the warm-up is all about the customer. So let me ask it different. Yeah, I'm going to get to that, right, for sure. But what am I trying to learn in the warm-up? Do I want to know about their religion? No. All right. Do I want to know about their political affiliation? No. Don't care about that either. Do I want to know what kind of floor they're looking for?
Not
Great
yet.
question. Not yet. Not yet.
Yeah.
The warm-up is not about the floor. The warm-up is about the customer. I want to learn about the customer. Now, we might spend 5 minutes in a warm-up. We might spend 15 minutes. We might spend a half an hour in a warm-up. I want to know about the customer. So some of you, I know, have already done a little bit of secret shopping. How many of you have done some secret shopping around floors? I know John has. Who else has? Denise, Patrick. Okay, good. So when somebody came into your home, Sandra has, did anybody actually try to have just a personal conversation with you?
No.
I mean, more than just the normal, oh, this is a beautiful home. How long have you lived in this house, right? So that, we're just going to put that off to the side for a minute. More than just that, did anybody actually try to just have, hey, let's just have a personal conversation?
No, I was shocked when they came into my house and the lack of communication with me on really anything. It was, here's our samples. Let's measure your room. Here's a quote, essentially. And then 3 of them all came in. So I felt I wasn't overwhelmed, but if I were a consumer, I would have felt overwhelmed.
Sure.
Why did they bring 3 people to that appointment?
They were probably training one.
Okay.
One was doing measurements and the other person was a salesperson, and then one used my restroom.
That's why that one came.
They're the highest ranked flooring company on Google in this area too.
Right, which means that you're going to be able to mop them up.
Yeah.
All right, so here's the thing: most of your competition is going to come in and immediately look at the customer and say, I mean, maybe there's a minute or two of pleasantries, okay, but they're immediately going to say, okay, what's the room I got to measure, right? Because they're booking 6, 8, 10, 12 appointments a day on their calendar, and it's all about I got to go. Okay, you guys are going to slow down, build some rapport with your customer, actually get to know about your customer. Now that's going to benefit you later. Okay, so but for right now, I don't care about the floor. I don't, it's not about the carpet. It's not about no, it's none of that. I want to know about the person. And you're going to meet some really, really cool people. You're going to meet some people that, wow, what are they doing? I mean, there's some nutballs out there. That's fine. But at the end of the day, this is about learning about the person. So when I walk in the house, how can I, because the last 3 people that came in the door all went straight for the project. How can I get the customer to slow down and actually let's just have a conversation?
So when you're walking in a house where there's pets in there, particularly dogs, so I come from Tailored Living, which is direct competition from California Closet. So I'm used to in-home sales, particularly with dogs. When they walk in, I'm like, hi, I'm Christine. And I immediately bend down to the dog and say, you're right. I came here just to see you. It immediately makes the person laugh. And then next thing you know, you're in a conversation about their pet or their small child or their cat or whatever. You're having that conversation. How old are they? What are their names? Blah, blah, blah. And just immediately the client their barrier comes down, particularly with dog lovers, particularly.
Absolutely. I love it. I love that. I've never used that before. But I am stealing that, Christine.
Yeah, Christine, I'm going to use that too.
I just
Nice.
want to kind of bring
It's
up
very
a-
effective.
Go
I
ahead, Taylor.
agree. I just want to kind of throw in this little thing that happened to me yesterday. So I was doing a ride along and, you know, we entered the lady's home. She's very, very nice. We had a little bit of conversation, but she immediately wanted to just jump into the project. And so, you know, we followed her lead because if we had not, it would have been awkward. But after we got some of the preliminary things involved with the project done, we were able to have a great conversation about her family and her holiday plans. So I just kind of, I think it's important to just have like situational awareness too, and not just have your goals in mind, but know when to implement them, if you know what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. 100% agreed. Right. You will have customers that when you walk in the door, they have to get it out. And so sometimes I let them get all that out and then divert and get back into a warm up. Right. So that's okay. I mean, that's 100%. Right. Good. This is a structure and you're going to have to modify and sometimes bob and weave and whatever else. No problem. Okay. Now I love going into a home, and if I can find a piece of artwork, if I can find something to talk about, if I can find a piece of furniture or whatever that's interesting, and just get them talking about that, right? If I can get into the kitchen, I don't mean like, weasel my way into the kitchen, but if we can work our way into the kitchen, the refrigerator's in the kitchen and their whole life story is on the refrigerator. And that's a great place to, look at artwork and whatever. This is what the kids have done. By and large, do you know what everybody's favorite subject is? Everybody has the same favorite subject. It's fantastic. I don't even have to know you guys. What is everybody's favorite subject?
Themselves.
Themselves.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well,
Everybody's favorite subject is themselves. Go ahead, Carrie.
Yeah, for example, I did a ride along yesterday with Shauna, and we went to this woman's house, and as Shauna was measuring the areas in her upstairs area where she's probably going to replace all of her hardwoods with new ones. Anyway, she had all these pictures of her kids. I noticed that there was a girl's room and a boy's room. And then I noticed she had this big picture of holding both the babies at once. And I said, oh my gosh, do you have boy and girl twins? And she's like, yes, I do. And just lit up right away, Yep. So just observing things like that.
100%, right? One of my favorite warm-ups, I'm not going to say it's my best warm-up, I'm just going to say it's one of my favorite warm-ups. I went into a home and, just like everybody else, they wanted to drag me straight to the project site, right? But I'm in the foyer and I stopped cold because there's a cabinet there with a glass-faced cabinet there, and it's got all these beer steins in it. And they're all, from all over the world. And I stopped and said, they're like, the carpet's back here, the carpet's back here. And I'm like, this is really cool. Are these steins like from everywhere in the world? Are these places that you traveled? And now all of a sudden we're standing in the foyer. Yeah, it would have been better to sit in the living room, but we're standing in the foyer. And he's telling me that, yes, he was a sniper in the Army. He served this many years. And these are beer steins from all over the world that, you know, that he collected as he traveled around the world. Then we got into some details that he had 97 kills, and he, you know, he went into quite a bit of detail on some of that stuff. All right, great. So that's wonderful. And then we can move on to the project, right? But now I know something about the customer. So the warm up is about the customer. It has nothing to do with the floor. Okay. So if this is helpful to you, okay, learn about their family, learn about their occupation, learn about their recreation, the hobbies. What is it? What are the things that they, I mean, I like this little forms, right? You got a little acronym here. What is their motivation to spend? In other words, where do they spend their time and money? Now, be careful, okay? Sports is here. Sports is a good place to start talking, but I want to be careful here. So where are my sports nuts on this call? Oh, we got a bunch of them. All right, so let me go over to Drew. Drew, who is your favorite team?
What sport?
You pick. What's your favorite team?
Los Angeles Lakers.
All right, so the LA Lakers, okay? I'm not a huge, I don't follow basketball a lot, but that's okay. Let's say that Drew and I get into this conversation about the Lakers, okay, and the performance and the players and all this stuff, and we talked about the season, and we've spent 20 minutes now talking about the Lakers and everything. What have I learned about Drew?
He loves Kobe Bryant.
But what have I learned about Drew?
That he has poor taste.
Well, that could be. All right. All right. I haven't learned anything about Drew. We've had a 20-minute conversation about the Lakers. We haven't talked at all about Drew. Now, where sports can be very helpful is I find out from Drew that, and let's see, Drew, you're in North Carolina, right? You're with Marty and Randy. Okay. So yep. I find out from Drew that he likes the Lakers so much that he flies out to LA, you know, 3 times a year. He's got buddies that he meets with, and they go and they make it a weekend, and they go to the game and whatever else. And I find out that this is like really important to him. Now I'm starting to learn something about Drew. It's not about the Lakers anymore. It's about what's important to Drew. Okay. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm not interested in the sports team. I'm not interested in figuring out who the next forward's going to be or who's going to be the next quarterback or what are we going to do in the draft. I'm much more interested in finding about the customer. And ideally, I can find out where do they spend their time and their money. What is important to them? Because if I can find out what's important to them, I can relate flooring back to what's important to them. And that's what I'm trying to learn. Now, somebody said something about objection questions. Absolutely. I'm going to ask the transition questions. So how long have you been thinking about replacing your floors? And when am I going to ask that question? Every conversation, whether it's with your next door neighbor, your best friend, your aunt, your uncle, every conversation that you have at some point kind of, you know, you feel it, it kind of drops down into that low spot. And when that conversation drops down into that low spot, that's when I'm just going to transition. And it's truly, the reason it's called a transition question is because we're transitioning from the warm up into now it's time to start talking about business. So we've had a wonderful opportunity to talk about all the different places you've been around the world. We've had a wonderful opportunity to talk about the latest vacation or the last thing that your kids did or the twins or whatever else it is. Now, how long have you been thinking about replacing your floors? Oh, gosh, 6 months? Well, what made you decide to do it today? Now that question, the reason that question is a word for word question is it's not what made you decide to get a quote today. That's not what I want to know. What I want to know is what made you decide to do it today. And some people are just going to say, oh, well, it was a good day to get a quote. And some people will say, oh, I'm not doing anything today. Oh, really? What makes you say that? I'm just getting estimates. Okay, good. So this is what I'm trying to get the customer to do. Here in about 45 minutes, I'm going to show the customer a price. And the minute I show the customer a price, they're going to turn around to me and try to politely ask me to leave the house. Okay, so I know this is what's going to happen. 45 minutes from now, they're going to give me some BS reason that they're not going to buy today. They're going to try to come up with something to push me out the door. And what I want to know is, what is that reason that you're going to give me? And most of the time, I mean, 80% of the time or more, it's going to be, well, I'm getting other estimates. Okay, good. But it's not always that, which is why I'm going to ask the question. So I'm having other projects done. I don't know what kind of floor I want. I'm just starting out my research. My daughter's got braces and this, and I don't even know if I can afford this. It may not be other estimates. So I want to know what this reason is. Okay, and just like I saw several of you shaking your heads, yes, I'm going to take all this information and I'm going to put it in my back pocket because I'm going to use that later. Same thing with this. When the customer tells me I'm getting other estimates, when the customer tells me my daughter is getting her braces, when the customer says, you know, whatever it is, I have no idea what my floors are supposed to look like. I'm just trying to do some research. Whatever that is, I'm going to put that in my back pocket and we're going to use that later too. Okay, so this is information collecting. I'm collecting information about the customer. I'm collecting information about their buying process, and I'm going to use that later. So the minute I get this objection, what made you decide to do it today? Oh, I'm probably going to get other estimates. I probably won't actually do it today. Okay, great. Let's go take a look at the space together. I'm not debating them. This is just me collecting information. All right, does that make sense? Okay, those transition questions are there to help you. They're not there to trip you up. They're there to help you because they're there to help you make the transition from you're trying to walk the customer down a path. You're trying to lead a customer down a path. And so in order to lead that customer down the path, we've had a great warm up and now I'm just going to transition into business. How long have you been thinking about replacing your floor? What made you decide to do it today? Okay. Now, they tell me, whatever it is they tell me, I'm getting other estimates. My sister needs to come take a look, whatever it is. Okay, great. Let's go take a look at the space together. Good. So now we're looking at the space together. So what is the purpose of this inspection? What am I inspecting, first of all?
The project.
All right. So Robbie, that's a really big nebulous thing. So what about the project?
I would be inspecting any issues that could come up to add cost to the project.
Okay.
What's
All
the
right.
current-
What else am I looking for?
What's the current flooring? What's under the?
What's the current floor?
Yeah.
Yep. What's under it? Good.
Looking for any transition areas or looking for any trim pieces that, you know, need to get added in.
Good. Denise?
I want to make sure that I'm recording specific things that motivate them to understand that this has got to be replaced.
Okay,
Create a sense of
such as?
urgency. I want to create a sense of urgency around sheet vinyl that's pulling away from the wall, carpet that's stained beyond its ability to be unstained, pieces of missing flooring, subfloor issues, anything like that where you can possibly see water damage, mold, those kinds of things that I want to have in that video so that when I show that to them,
Okay.
they can see that it is urgent and it needs to be fixed.
Good. I like that. Good. Royce?
Finding out what they like or dislike about their current flooring, so that you know what suggestions to make and how to remedy the problems that they're having.
I love it. Carrie?
I was just gonna say, if they complained about it maybe being outdated, there's not really a problem to solve, but that the floor is just, 15, 20 years old or whatever, with huge grout lines in the tile, or and they're sick of grout lines, which I hear a lot of, the big grout lines and stuff. Coming up with the solution for that. Oh, maybe you'll want to get into like a hard surface product like hardwoods or the vinyl planks. So
Perfect.
It doesn't have
Good.
the huge grout lines. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. So yeah, I'm looking for, when I'm inspecting a space, when you guys are inspecting a space, basic things first, right? What is the floor that's down today? Oh, I'm standing on carpet or I'm standing on tile. Okay, good. What is my subfloor? I need to know my subfloor so that I can know what I'm going to pull from the van. What can I put here? How was the current floor installed? Now, why is it important to me that I know how the current floor is installed? Yeah, Denise.
Well, removal of different flooring types can incur different costs, time commitments.
Exactly.
It's all
Yeah,
scope for the project.
Right. I mean, if I have a floated LVP floor, I mean, you can clear a room in a hurry. If I'm chipping up tile off of a floor, that's going to take a while, right? So I want to know, what is the current floor? I want to know from a technical standpoint, what is the current floor? How was it installed? What is my subfloor? Great. I also want to know, I think Royce mentioned this, I also want to know, what is it about the current floor that makes them want to change it? So that might be sheet vinyl pulling away from the wall. It might be that there's stains all over the carpet. But you know what? It might be that this carpet is brand new and the house they just bought and they absolutely hate this color. And even though there's nothing technically wrong with the carpet, it doesn't matter. There is something wrong with the carpet. They don't like the color. That's what's wrong with the carpet. The carpet's the wrong color, right? So here's a secret, guys. If they've invited you into their house, there is something wrong with their flooring. Otherwise, you wouldn't be there. And nobody invites people into their home to come look at their floors unless there's something wrong with them. I mean, that just doesn't make any sense. Now, again, the wrong thing might not be, oh, my carpet's all wrinkled up, it's worn out, the hardwood floors are messed up beyond repair. No, it could simply be, I don't like this color. Okay, well then we're going to get rid of this color. So as I'm inspecting the space, right, I absolutely want to take a look at what it is that I'm pulling out. And I'm asking questions about what it is that we're going to put in. So I want to know three things. How do you want your new floors to look? How do you want them to feel? And how long do you want them to last? Simple. Look, feel, if you want to call it durability or how long you want it to last, whatever is easy for you to remember. That's it. I don't need any more detail than that. I want to know how do you want it to look? So look goes into color, style, that sort of thing. How do you want it to feel? Well, if it's a carpet, do you want something that feels dense? Do you want something that feels soft and fluffy? If we're talking about a hardwood, are you looking for a hardwood that feels really smooth? Or are you looking for a hardwood that's got some scrapes and that sort of stuff in it, right? Different products have different feels. Good. So what do you want it to look like? How do you want it to feel? And what are we doing in terms of durability and how you want it to last? And some of that you're going to already have sort of absorbed in the warm-up, even though you weren't specifically talking about floors, just getting to know them and how they live, you're going to be able to help them with that, right? So I go back to an appointment I ran where I'm sitting on the couch, and the reason they wanted me there is because their hardwood floors were in horrible shape, and they wanted to replace their hardwood floors. And as I'm sitting there, there's two boys that are on their tricycles, and they're riding the tricycles inside the house on the hardwood floor. Okay, well, now I know why the hardwood floor is messed up, but I'm not going to tell the customer, oh, great, well, see, there's your problem. Those two kids have got to go. No, the kids aren't going to go. The dog's not going to go. I guarantee you the pets aren't going to go. No, what's going to happen is I've got to find a product that's going to stand up to the tricycles. Okay, so that's my job, right? And I got a chance to know that because I was in the house. The guy at Home Depot never knew that. Okay, good. So I'm trying to look at, what else am I trying to look at? I'm trying to look at what are we going to have to move? Is there, is there a big dresser? Is there a big entertainment center? Is there a pool table I got to move? Am I in a bathroom or am I pulling toilets? What is it that has to be included in this proposal? And I'm thinking all this stuff as we're doing the inspection. So yes, in the videos and the stuff, you're going to see the whole SEOCS business, right? What I'm trying to do when I'm in the home, what I'm coaching you guys to do when you're in the home, is figure out what the current situation looks like. What is the current floor? What's the current subfloor? What's the installation method? And what is it that makes the customer want to change it? And then if you think about, so this is the current, now what's the future look like? What is the future? What does the customer want it to look like? What do they want it to feel like? And how do they want it to function? How do they want it to last? And then at the end of the step, good, I'm going to sell the reference list. Okay, so here's a bunch of customers that we've got. While I'm measuring the space, I want you to call these people and find out everything you can find out about the process that they went through with Floor Coverings International. We're not going to spend a ton of time today talking about the reference list. We will come back to it. Now, in the videos, we talk about setting yourself up as an expert. So when I'm assessing the current situation, I'm talking to the customer about what's here. Yeah, we sound a lot like an expert. Educating the customer, getting the customer to tell you what it is that makes them want to change it, gives the customer ownership of what the problem is. And then, creating a sense of urgency with this and selling the reference list. Good. All right, questions around this inspection. I will tell you that step 2 is probably the most detailed and most technically complicated part of this whole process. Yeah, Owen.
So let's say you go into the room, it's wall-to-wall carpeting, and they don't know what the subflooring is. What do you do? What do you do there? Do you ask them if they?
Matter of fact, I'm not going to ask them what the subfloor is. I'm going to check what the subfloor is.
But how?
So it says, I don't trust that anybody knows what their subfloor is.
How do you do that? How do you check?
All right. It's very easy. It's very easy to figure out if it's concrete or if I'm on a crawl space. Okay. So if it's concrete, then I know it's concrete. If I'm on a crawl space, what am I concerned about? Well, if I'm on a crawl space, it's either going to be plywood, OSB, or particle board. Yes, if I'm in a really, really old home, it could be other types, but generally speaking, if it's on a crawl space, it's either plywood, OSB, or particle board. Which of those 3 am I really concerned about?
Particle
board. Okay. So how can I get a view to see whether or not this is particle board?
You probably have to go into a certain corner that's not utilized or out of the way and just pick up a piece of that corner.
Yep, you can pull a corner up.
Or pull a
If
floor
I can
vent.
see
Floor
it,
vents.
yep.
Floor vent, yeah.
If there's a floor vent, I can pull the floor vents, right? It's easy to pull a floor vent up and just take a look. Now, the other thing that I would say though, Owen, is if they're removing carpet and we're putting carpet back in, do I care what the subfloor is?
Only if you, I mean, I guess from the training videos, right? I guess only if it's something that where you can't, nail the carpet into the subflooring, right? Or
Right.
you got to know whether
there's carpet there today.
Yeah.
There's carpet there today.
But that doesn't.
And I'm going to put carpet back.
What if that's part of the problem? Is it should be a room that maybe the subflooring is not conducive to carpeting, and that's why their carpet's not looking too good or something. Are you just getting?
Well, I think you put carpet over anything.
Yeah, unless the subfloor's been compromised by some water or moisture in soft spots.
Right.
Okay.
Right. And in that case, I'm looking for damage, right?
Right.
It's not what the subfloor is made of. In that case, I'm looking for damage.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
I got a
I need to
question
move
about this example. If we're replacing carpet with carpet, do we have a standard that we always replace the tack strips 100%?
Nope.
No.
You will absolutely reuse tack strips.
Okay. I know some people do and some people don't.
No, you will absolutely reuse tack strips.
Okay.
Okay. I want to share. Go ahead.
I was saying from the videos I've seen, most of the time, if we ever needed additional tack strips, they would just add a second layer as opposed to replace.
All right. I want to show you guys a tool that is available to you. Okay. There's a couple of tools that I want to show you. The first one is a product selector. Now, when you log into Salesforce on your laptop, when you log into Salesforce, your view is going to look a little different than mine. It's not a big deal. But when you click on the little drop down over here, you can come all the way down to where it says important links.
Are you sharing your
Can
screen?
you show your
Because we can't
screen?
see it.
Oh, I thought I was. Sorry. Thank you. Let's do that again. So let's start back from the beginning. Was here. All right. So from the franchise owner or from the DA app page, either way, right here is my little navigation menu. So when I click on that, and I'm going to scroll all the way down to the bottom and go to important links. And there's something here called a price list manager. All right. So again, my view, your view are going to look a little different. I'm going to end up, I'm going to emulate somebody. So let's see. Log in, and I'm going to pretend to be Jason Clark. That way Taylor can go back and say he was snooping around in your stuff. That's good. So I'm going to pretend to be Jason. You guys don't have, this is my one superpower, that I get to pretend to be other people. So if I pretend to be Jason Clark, so this is more or less what your view is going to look like. Okay, so you've got your product catalog here. And then there's some price lists down below. But what I want to focus on up here is in this product catalog. Now, by the way, brand new franchise owners, you don't have a Shaw account number yet, so you're not going to have anything in the carpet arena. It's going to be blank. So you're not going to have all this. You should have wood, though. You should have some stuff from AHF. You're not going to have everything because we get a bunch of stuff from Shaw, and until you have a Shaw account number, this doesn't show up. But I want to show you how to use the tool anyway. So when I click on carpet, for example, then I'm going to get a list of all the carpets that are out there. So here we go. This happens to be sorted by style name at the moment. So admiring one, the crossover name, that's helpful because that's the Shaw crossover name. And look, it even tells me who the vendor is, what type of carpet it is. This is a tonal carpet. It has R2X on it. It comes in a 12-foot wide width. There's no pattern. What is the material type? Scroll over. It is a clear touch PET polyester. It's got a 3-star durability and a 5-star stain resistance, and it's a price group 2. Okay, so this is a fantastic tool because this gives me the ability, and I can sort by different things, but this gives me the ability to quickly reference. I'm looking for something that's got, you know, I want a solid color that has lifeguard. Okay, well, let's just take a look. Solid with lifeguard, solid with lifeguard. Let's filter on the stuff that has lifeguard. That. And so now I'm looking at lifeguard and I'm looking for solid. Oh, good. I've got color statement 2 that has a solid color in lifeguard. Okay, so right now you may not know what lifeguard means or R2X means. I'm pointing this out. We're going to come back to this later, but I want you to know that this is out there. Now, for franchise owners that don't have this yet, at least under wood, you'll at least be able to see the stuff from AHF. So you might have Ambassador Hickory, Ambassador Oak. The ones from Shaw you don't have yet, but the AHF comes across differently, so you probably have those in there. This can be downloaded. So if I click the little, if you're, you know, reasonably computer savvy, you can click the little download button. It'll drop it down into an Excel file, and then you can sort and parse it and do whatever you want to with it. So this is a great tool to help you when it comes to picking products. So I'm in step 2, and I've asked the customer, what is it that you want the color, you want it to look like, feel like? Do you like a solid color? Do you want a pattern? All that stuff. And they tell me, no, I'm really looking for a solid color carpet. And one of the things that we talked about is that they hate this carpet because the dog has accidents. And you know what? I've figured out we probably need to do a lifeguard here. So now I can use my product selector to very quickly find a solid color with a lifeguard. And I'm not standing outside where it's cold, it's wet, it's raining, there's snow on the ground, there's ice coming down, whatever. No, I'm standing in the house and I have my product selector and I'm ready to go. That's part of the reason why I suggest printing it out so that you could actually have it on a clipboard and you can have it standing in the house where it's warm and dry before you go out to the van.
I'm sorry, where I was getting into Salesforce. Where did you click on the homepage to get into the product inventory there?
So on the homepage here, or from Salesforce?
Well, Salesforce. I'm in Salesforce.
All right. So from Salesforce, click the drop down arrow.
Yep.
This navigation menu. Come down to important links and click on important links.
Okay.
From there, click on the price list manager, which is one of your important links.
Okay.
And then that should bring up this page. And then from the product catalog, you've got carpet, wood, laminates, vinyls. And this is where your product selector is.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay. And in the interest of time, I'll send this to you. I'm going to send you these fab sheets. So one of the things that I'm going to ask you to do for next week is to review the fabs just for carpet. Don't worry about hardwood and everything else right now. Just review the fabs for carpet. So you've got a lifeguard carpet. Learn what that is. You've got an R2X carpet and you've got a soft back carpet. Those are the only three I'm going to ask you to learn for next week. Okay, so what is lifeguard? What does that mean? What is R2X? What does that mean? What is soft back? What does that mean? The other little guide, and I'm going to include this in the recap when I send the recap out, is this installation guide. And let me show you how this is used. So let's make this big. So I'm looking at this and I'm saying, okay, can I put carpet on plywood? Yes, I can. See, I've got plywood and carpet. Yes, I can. Can I put carpet over OSB? Yep, I can. Can I put carpet on particle board? Yes, I can. Okay, so I might need two rows of tack strips. Most of the time they can do it without that, but okay, good. Can I put carpet over concrete? Yes. So all the stuff is here. Let's get down to something. Hardwood, nail, or staple. Can I nail down, can I staple down hardwood? Over plywood? Yes. Over OSB? Yes. Can I put hardwood, if I'm going to nail or staple it, can I put hardwood on particle board? No, I cannot. Why not? Because I can't nail into plywood, into particle board. It won't hold the nail. Can I put it on concrete? No. I cannot do a nail or staple down onto concrete. You can't nail into concrete. You can nail tack strips into concrete as you're going around the wall, but that's very different than nailing every board of a hardwood floor down to the concrete floor. Can I install hardwood over ceramic? No. Right? So I've got all the different things here. Now, when I get to a glue down hardwood version, could I glue hardwood down to concrete? Yes, I can, but be careful. Always check the notes over here. Engineered hardwood only. I cannot glue a solid hardwood floor. So where it says yes to concrete, it has to be an engineered hardwood only. Okay, so we're gonna just pay attention to that. I will send you this. It's a 2.5-page sheet and it's got all the different combinations, well, most of the combinations that you'll ever see in your lifetime. Good. All right, so we're not going to get into the tablet today. We will get into the tablet next week. So if you want to follow along with your tablet next week, just have it charged up and ready to go. Homework for next week. Like I said before, I want you to take the company story and I want you to start putting content, not memorized script, but I want you to read the script and learn what is the main point of each slide. So when I pull up a slide that has a map of the US and Canada, what is the main point that I'm trying to drive on this slide, right? What's important about this slide? What's important about the Better Business Bureau slide? What's important about the custom slide, right? So just get in your mind, this is what's important about these slides. Just learn the content. Memorize the carpet fabs. There's 3 of them. Continue to go on ride-alongs and get reference list pictures. Now, there is a ton of homework in floor use, so don't put it off until the last minute. And you're going to start getting into estimating exercises around carpet. So just keep that in mind. Our next call for Inspired Sale is next Wednesday, again from 1:30 to 3:30. I'm here in Atlanta for 2 weeks straight. So I'm at our corporate office right now. We've got TSA this week, TSB next week. For TSA, for the class that they'll open their business on Saturday. TSB, they opened their businesses about 3 months ago. And so I'm here, which is why we've got, sort of a Spartan office here. But our call will be next week from 1:30 to 3:30. And once again, if you're watching this afterwards and you'd, want to make sure that you get credit for watching the recording afterwards, there's your code word, space race. And again, I offer extra points if you can figure out where the code word is.
SpaceX.
What's that, Robbie?
I just said SpaceX, but it's more.
No, it's not that. No. Good. All right. So last minute questions. I don't want to hold. I've got a few minutes before my next call. I don't want to hold anybody up. So if you've got to go, feel free to go. But if you've got
Arlen?
If you've got questions, yes, Carrie.
When you send the product installation cheat sheet, can you make the font bigger? I mean, when I printed it out, it was really hard to read.
I will try to do that.
Okay.
I don't know if I have the original of that.
Okay.
Anyway, I'll see what I can do.
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
I have a quick question, if you don't mind. So also on that cheat sheet,
yeah,
I did notice that it said that glue down of hardwood is fine on plywood and OSB. Now OSB obviously more so. Once you rip that glue down, it will start to tear up. So is that cheat sheet going to be different in different regions, or like different protocols in different areas, or?
Well, it's a good question. So the cheat sheet doesn't change. We have one cheat sheet for the whole country, right? But yes, you're right. So this is an install preference thing. Can I glue hardwood down to plywood? Yes, I can. I can do it. However, do I want to do it? That's a different question. When it comes to hardwood, my strong recommendation is I want to nail it down. Right? I don't want to glue it down for the very reason that you said. I want to nail it down. So if I'm on plywood or if I'm on OSB, I don't want to glue it down. Could I? Yes, I could, but my preferred way of installing it is going to be to nail it or staple it down.
Arlen?
Good. Yes.
I noticed it says you wouldn't do a hardwood glue down on install over hardwood, and we actually went on an appointment yesterday, and that's exactly what we suggested to do, is put a new hardwood over the existing hardwood.
It's not recommended. It's not recommended because the hardwood, and the reason for that is the hardwood, even an engineered hardwood, does still have some movement. And so if you glue one hardwood down on top of another hardwood, that movement, that expansion and contraction with the wood, that can cause a problem with the ability for the glue to hold. Now, can you do it and get away with it? Maybe. I'm going to say it's probably not the best way to do it. So I wouldn't recommend it, but you might get away with it.
Okay.
Good. Anything else? All right, team. Well, then I will see. I'll see some of you earlier, but for this class, I'll see you guys on Wednesday next week.
Thanks, Arlen.
Good
Thanks,
deal.
Arlen. See you guys.
Take care, guys.
Thank you.
Yep.
Arlen,